How you doing, everybody? I'm Rock, your divorce strategist. Okay, today we got a really exciting topic. It's about entrepreneurs, which I've been for 50 years. Husband and wife businesses, joint businesses, husband and wife. About 1.2 million businesses in the U.S. are jointly run by spouses. Divorce among these couples can threaten both the marriage and the company. So this is basically helping entrepreneurs navigate the emotional, financial, and psychological challenges of divorce. Psychological because you get pretty fucked up, man. Okay? You could figure out the facts, the financials and all that, but man, it's emotional. You got attorneys after you. You got your employees, you got to worry about your kids. I mean, this is psychological shit, man. So that's what I'm going to try to let you know, and I'll give you some stories about me, too. I like music, and I was brought up in the 70s, married in the 70s, divorced in the 80s. Okay, we're going to go with Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac. How's that? We're going to go with Go Your Own Way, 1977. So if you want to sit back and listen to that before you take this in, it's awesome. The other thing is, don't pick up a drink. Pick up a stress ball. Just kind of play with it. You could be watching a ball game and listening to a headset or something. Watch it on TV, listening in the car like I'm in the car. This session is going to be about betrayal and psychologically about divorce, the psychological aspects of divorce. You're in on this yourself. No one's going to help you. That's why I believe in therapy and so on, because, your family's going to bail. They're scared. Your friends are scared. They might be going through divorce, or even if they did go through divorce, you don't want to hear their fucking stories because they're all horror stories. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about what I went through. And by the way, this is not legal or financial information. I've gained it through picking the wrong horse. Attorneys, tax accountants, bankers. You got to be real careful with this. So we're talking about entrepreneurs, people that have money. This is deeply psychologically, and I've lived it. Okay? All right. Let's go to special notes and data. Divorce rate among entrepreneurs, approximately 43 to 48%. Slightly higher than the general population due to stress, long hours, and financial pressures. And I've been divorced twice, 33 and 66. I'll still say I'm a workaholic. How do you think I end up doing all this stuff? My brother keeps saying, how many videos do you do? Well, I'm not done. I want to tell people, beware, watch out. So this is all a accumulation of 50 years of doing business as an entrepreneur and going through a divorce. All right. Multiple divorces. Many entrepreneurs who divorce once have an elevated risk of remarriage and second divorce, with second marriages in the U.S. having a greater than 60% divorce rate. I went to Harvard Business School, going through a divorce at the same time, and I was invited by the professor while I was going through a divorce, and I was psychologically fucked up. He says, I'm not coming back. He goes, Rock, no, that's a badge of honor, man. That shows that you're a hard worker and you're going to be successful. And you are successful. So I went back and I finished the course. Yeah, I did. At the same time, I'm going through a divorce. I'm buying a business. I'm going to Harvard Business School. I have visitation with the kids. And I had no friends and no money. Yeah. But here was my secret. I was determined. I was motivated. And no one was going to tear me down. Because I was looking 10 years out saying, oh my God, how am I going to take care of my kids? How am I going to achieve what I want to be, which is a good dad? And don't let my kids pick the wrong horse like I did and see the bullshit and the psychologically trauma that the kids are going to be facing. It's never over. Never over. Because they're asking themselves right now, what the hell happened, Mom and Dad? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Longevity of successful entrepreneurs. Roughly 50% of small businesses survive past 5 years. These long-term entrepreneurs often face higher rational stress over time. Ha! Yeah. That's why I'm letting you know. I'm crazy. Crazy with life. Okay? Husband and wife businesses. Joint businesses, husband and wife. About 1.2 million businesses in the U.S. are jointly run by spouses. Divorce among these couples can threaten both the marriage and the company. We all know stories of what happened. It could be your boss. It could be you. Or you're thinking about it. Or you're in it. Children in entrepreneurial families. My kids. Nearly 70% of entrepreneurs over age 35 have children. Custody, co-parenting, and family balance are critical factors during a divorce. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk about a psychological fuck. And you got the courts after you. You got threats left and right. You got alimony issues. You got child support. You got private schools. You got run a business. How can you do it? No wonder why men and women bail. They can't take it. Average divorce age for entrepreneurs. Listen. While the general U.S. divorce age hovers around 40 to 45, entrepreneurs often experience major personal transitions between ages 38 and 50, coinciding with business inflection points. I was 33. I was premature to get my ass fucked. Okay? All right, here's about income. This is where you want to think about income. Because this might be the time when you want to say, you know what? I got to get out. I don't want to be a statistic. So I'm going to give you the statistic. Income ranges. Entrepreneurs' household in the U.S. report average annual incomes between $75,000 and $250,000. Depending on the size, sector, and success of the business. Dual income. Entrepreneurial households, husband and wife, both contributing, often see combined incomes from $150,000 up to $500,000 or more. But these figures vary widely depending on industry and region. Okay? Now, I could go on and on about my world. 33 years old, finished Harvard after I was divorced, bought a business, had a partner that I had to bring in, a business partner to buy a business, and I was a minority. It was terrible. It was terrible. And here I built the business over 17 years, and I had to sell my soul to remain in the business so I could make alimony payments for life and child support. My kids were all under 12. Yeah. Private schools. I tried to keep everything steady. And it only got worse and worse. And I was married 12 years. And my spousal maintenance in the state of Minnesota was 18 years. I was stuck for 30 years taking care of that woman. My kid's mother. But I held my bargain. Why? I had the foundation. My parents, my faith, my hope, my blessings, my skills. People help me. God help me. You see? You're going to get through this, man. You're going to get through this. But it's psychologically, you got to be tough. One of the things I did is, see, I wasn't a drinker. My addictions were work. That was my mistress. You know, because I had to work and pay these payments. My take home was 85% for between child support and alimony. That could happen to you. And one of the reasons why it was because I went to court. That's why I keep preaching pro se, pro se, pro se. Let them file. Let them push you to the point where you delay, and you cut your own deal. Go on AI. Look at your jurisdiction. But you have to know your financial picture. So if you're the petitioner or the respondent, the other thing is the tenure. How long have you been married? When I was 66, I married 12 years. I was married to the second wife. I knew in the first 3 months that I was in fucking trouble. But I was stupid. I thought things would change. They never changed. That's why when I got 66, I said, that's it. I got to live on Social Security. I got to live on what I built. And now I got what I could call a right-size, downsize lifestyle. Okay? But I went through, so 30 years with the first wife. The second wife was 12 plus 4, 16 years of alimony and taking care of somebody else. Worse than a child, because my kids are out working. They're all adults. They're working. They're professional people. I married wives that I'm going to be a housewife. They had intentions. I had expectations. It didn't work. The intentions was, Rock's a good target. So think about what you got going on in your life. Okay. You know, if anybody wants this, just send me an email or let me know and I'll just send it to you. You know what I mean? To me, it's just a checklist. You know? But I've gone through all this. So this is all experience. That's why I put it together. Helping entrepreneurs navigate the emotional, financial, and psychological challenges of divorce. Here I'm bringing this shit up after I'm done. But you know what? It's my purpose right now, to help other people. So don't forget, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac, 1977. 1977, I remember going to see Fleetwood Mac with my first wife, because we were married I think we were married in 76. I remember it. I love music. I had a lot of buddies that, we were big music guys, buffs. And you know what? I could recall going to that concert. She wasn't happy. I should have known. But I think a lot of the parents, back in the 70s, their parents, and especially if there was a foundation of being divorced and infidelity and adultery and not going to church, and I had so many signs. And, my dad, he just let me hang myself. He knew because the history was her parents were divorced. My parents were never divorced. 74 years of marriage, 11 kids. Her parents were about the same age, but they hated each other. Divorced, and that's trauma. And they got generations of divorce. People have generations of divorce. Grandmother, mother, daughter. I mean, it's fucked up. I'm talking from a man's side. What I've seen. The percentages of who pays alimony, who doesn't pay alimony, and so on. no matter if you're male, female, or the breadwinner. It's fucking terrible. Key tips for entrepreneurs approaching divorce. Approaching. So if you're thinking about it or in it, stall it. Stall it. Fire your attorney. That's the other thing I learned. You could fire your attorney. They're misleading you. It's all about the money for them. If they see you that you have money, they are going to get a percentage of that shit. You got $1 million combined, they're going to be looking at 20 to 30% of that. Attorney fees are going to be about $300,000. No doubt about it. That's because you're emotionally attached to it. You're not looking at really the process. And that's what I didn't do. I thought I knew better, but I should have known the rules. I should have hired a coach than an attorney. The attorney was the worst thing I did. I've been saying that pro se. Okay? And if you're in a situation where you're building a business and you have employees and that, you can lose it all, man. These attorneys, they want to do an audit of your business. That's what happened in my first marriage. My ex-wife, thank God I had no ownership at the time. But I was the president of the company, and they went after me. They wanted to do an audit and everything. It's all money, and they just rack it up. And I'm talking 1988. It's terrible. The attorneys it's all about making money, trial. It's just like hiring somebody, or let's say you buy the car of your choice, and today they're average $100,000. They're getting the cars, and they're sending their kids to colleges and so on. And believe me, you are a target. If you got money, you are a target. They don't go after the people at less than $500,000. And if it's tied up in like hard assets, a house and all this, they don't want you because they're going to go out and get another sucker like me. Okay? Being an entrepreneur and being in business for 50 years, I was a fucking target. But if I did what I know now, and that's what I'm coaching you, being you aware of. Now, key tips for entrepreneurs approaching divorce. Do not commingle your personal business finances. Okay? Maintain clear documentation of ownership, roles, and contributions, just like a business. I had a partner. He had a certain percent of equity. I had a certain percent. And believe me, after we became more and more successful, I was running the business. He was strictly an investor. It got really rough, man. That's when partners and marriages become opponents. Who's your opponent? Your wife, your spouse. Protect intellectual property and key contracts. I'm doing that now. I have digital contracts. I have an intellectual property and so on. It's all going in my trust because when I pass away, I want my family to own my intellectual property, no one else. I'm doing a deal overseas. I'm putting a intellectual property agreement together for them to sign in English because I've been through that. I did a deal in Germany back in the mid-90s, and they withdrew from the contract prior to expiration. I call my attorney and say, hey, listen, I want to sue them. Rock, it's international law. It's not going anywhere. It's just a waste of time. And like I mentioned before in some of my other sessions and my videos, you know, attorneys look at it this way. Risk-benefit. What's the risk? What's the benefit? If they don't see a six-figure payout, they're not going to take it. They're not going to take it. And everyone's getting sued today, somehow, some way. That's why the little guy is going on Judge Judy. You see? Or these television series. It's what they call small claims court. And small claims court can't do shit either because you got to collect. And that's the hardest part. It's not who wins, who loses. No, you walk away. There's strategy. It's all about strategy. Oh, I heard something very interesting on TikTok. This attorney, U.S., was talking about these celebrities and these scams going on where sexual activities it favors, and they sue them, and they're younger and they're older, and it's stupid. The attorney said, you know what? If you're the respondent and they want money, for an example, $50 million on this deal, don't even show up for these meetings, because that's the attorney asking for the $50 million. And it's really immoral about how they go about this, and unethical. And what they come back with is, listen, I'm not going to settle with the petitioner. I'm going to settle with you. I'm going to pay your fees. So I'll give you $10 million right now to shoo this away. Yeah. And guess what? Most attorneys will say, I'll take it. Because they're going to get 30 to 50, I would say closer to 50% of that $10 million for doing one meeting, 2 meetings. And it's going to take years to get the $50 million. You're not going to get that. Because the attorney's going to get sick of it and say, listen, just settle. Just settle. Yeah. This is all true shit, man. Prioritize the business's plan to avoid collapse during proceedings. That's what I mean about you can lose it all. I hope you have a team, an organized team. And then, sometimes you're better off just letting go and say, you know what, you could have the business. You can have a home. You can have everything. Just give me my pension, and then I'll take my skill set and I'll go do something else. Most entrepreneurs are unemployable. Seek both legal and financial advice early. And as I mentioned before, get a therapist. Not a priest, not a friend. Get something structured. And I would read a lot of books. Listen to audiobooks. Listen. Go on YouTube, man. YouTube's got everything, man. Okay? Remember, divorce is both a personal and professional negotiation, like I've been saying. It's personal, it's negotiation, it's a business. There's a lot to negotiate. But you got to separate it. But all in all, that attorney's pushing your spouse, your opponent, hey, this is what I did. This is what this company's worth. They'll blow it up, just like any valuation. The house is worth, go out and get a valuation. Objective, unbiased valuation. There's always, well, let's split it in half and meet in the middle. That's all bullshit. You have to psychologically be ready. But it's negotiable. Just know what you want. And I knew what I wanted was I wanted the cash. Cash is king. You can have all the materials you want. You want the car, go ahead. You want the house, you want it. Yeah. But my ex-spouses, they didn't work. So I had to provide. Yeah. And their lifestyle did not change. Did mine? Not really. Because I always had kind of a practical life. Didn't change. Did it drain my investments? Sure. Overall, I got the number. 25% of my career, 50 years of working, 25% of my net worth was drained with 2 wives. I don't think that's too bad. It's not 50. I don't think they went on a budget. They're going back to work, or they got to get a replacement. Know your game. Have a strategy. Look out. Where do I want to be 3 years from now? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? Where do I want to be 10 years from now? You could say that. Say it to yourself. You have goals. You have dreams. You could do it alone. My dream for those 22 years was get my kids off and get them to have a better life. My parents provided me a good life. I bettered that my way, and then my kids bettered their life their way. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I keep talking about faith and hope. You got it. Okay. Now, if you have detailed or personal questions, consider using AI tools for initial guidance before you call anybody, before you hire anybody or anything. AI can provide rough ranges and insights to help you prepare before consulting professionals. Or you contact me, and I'll spit it out for you. Not only will I give you AI, I'll give you my background, what happened to me and my friends. Believe me, my friends are divorced almost 100%. I hear at the bowling alley, guys are married 4 or 5 times. I have one friend that was kicked out of the house for years and went back to the vomit. He's a beaten dog. She controlled all the money, so he had no allowance, no nothing. And he went and moved in with his mother, and his mother was in her 80s, and she passed away. And then they fought over doing the marker for the funeral. So, you know how I talk about bringing joy, always bring joy. It's evolved now. Now it's bring joy to yourself, because you're going to go through a lot of pain. Psychological, mental, financial, trauma with kids. It's just really bad. And this entrepreneur deal with the business, it all ends up the same. And I've been through it twice, trying to save my livelihood, my careers. They don't care. These divorce attorneys, the judges don't care. Like I mentioned before, if they don't like your look, if they don't like you as a person, or they think you're taking advantage, you're really fucked. So anyway, try to bring joy to yourself. I hope this helps. And as I mentioned, I love the ups, the downs. You know, to me, YouTube is a business. I'm structuring it strategically and intentionally to get sponsors. And no sponsors, but I'm going to keep coming at you with stories, the truth. And divorce just happened to be really hot right now. And if you go under divorce, what are you going to find? You're going to find attorneys and therapists and, you know, they all CPAs. Oh, you're going through a divorce? Real estate agents. Oh, you're going through a divorce? Contact me. No. You got to take care of yourself. It's a long game. It's not a short game. It's a long game. But everybody wants out right away. It doesn't work that way. The more you can be patient and disciplined and strategic, someone's going to panic. Someone's going to blink. And I don't want you to be the blinker. Okay? So I hope this helps. Bring joy to yourself. Listen to Fleetwood Mac. You'll be hearing from more of me. Integrity matters. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments. Have faith, have hope. Start doing things with positive people. Positive people makes a difference. And there are some people that love you, that will help you through it. Be patient, be disciplined. And bring some joy to your life. Because if you're joyful, your kids are going to be joyful. All right? So I'll talk to you soon.